A lot of fear. I was being offered a film by Rajkumar Hirani, who I really admire as a filmmaker. I always wanted to work with him. But when he told me he's making a biopic on Sanjay Dutt's life, I was a little skeptical. Because how can you make a story on someone who's still working in films, who's such a big superstar? How will I be able to do it? I won't be able to look like him. I won't be able to perform. I had performance anxiety. But once I read the script, all my fears went away, because I think Raju sir has so sensitively encompassed his entire story in a film in such an emotional, funny, entertaining way that it just became, an actor's dream come true, this project, and I think is one of those few offers which is a once in a lifetime experience for me.
Even after you agreed, there must have been many apprehensions in your mind.
Absolutely, that was just the first step, was the script. But then we started for 6 months. We were constantly doing makeup trials, prosthetic trials. I was trying to imitate him. I was failing miserably every day. Just trying to kind of build this character. Like, we just wanted to do complete justice to it. It was a big responsibility to portray Sanjay Dutt's life on screen, directed by Rajkumar Hirani. So there were lots of upsets, but I think everyone had good faith, had belief in the material, had belief in that, we all are here to make a good film. It's not a propaganda film. It is an honest portrayal of a very flawed man, but a flawed man who's fallen down many a times because of his mistakes and has also gotten up. It is about a complex relationship between a father and son, his relationship with his best friend, his many relationships with women, his tryst with terrorism, being in jail, the guns, and his entire episode with drugs. So there was so much of drama, emotion in the film that it was scary and daunting, but I was also very inspired to be a part of this journey.
So while growing up, you both lived in Pali area,
right,
neighborhood. So you also said that you were a fan of
right.
many times. So while doing this movie, did you discover a new Sanjay Dutt? So
absolutely, I felt like
many things you may not have known about.
No, absolutely. I knew a completely different Sanjay Dutt. He was a family friend. He also was very, he treated me like a younger brother. He used to spoil me. He gifted me a Harley Davidson bike 6 years back on my birthday. He used to pick me up random nights, because I used to live on Pali. He used to pick me up in his Ferrari and take me for drives. But he used to, treat me like his younger brother. But when I read the script, I discovered a completely new Sanjay Dutt that I didn't know, and I admire and respect him so much more. Not just for the life he's lived, but also the fact that he's given his life so honestly to portray on screen. Tomorrow many people might see the film and judge him for his character, but his positivity is something which has always kept him alive. He's always fallen down and he's always gotten up. He's always risen. That's why he's so loved today.
Because I remember in those days when you were growing in the 90s,
right.
Suddenly Sanjay Dutt was a bad boy.
Right.
Not only outside the industry, within the industry
right.
also many people did not support him
right.
also.
Right.
So that kind of phase, even then you had that kind of phase.
No, I don't remember. I was too young.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, through this film I have understood that phase even more. He was the complete opposite of what his father was. His father was such a loved and admired man, always helping people. But this guy was gaining a reputation of really a bad boy, doing wrong things, drugs, guns and all of that. And I think the way Raju sir has dealt with this complex father-son relationship is really admirable, because I think that father-son dynamic is very interesting to portray on screen.
When you are depicting a man who has been your neighbor all your life and whom you say every day, there was a threat that you might end up doing a caricature kind of thing. You
absolutely.
Maybe making. Where did you draw the line, the artistic line?
Well, it was very hard, like I said. There was a lot of work which went behind the scenes to make it come alive. But yes, this fear of making a mimicry out of him or making it a joke, I had that responsibility of a man who I admire and love myself so much, but also a man who the audience loves and admires so much. There was too much expectations, too much pressure. But when you have a director like Rajkumar Hirani, a writer like Abhijat Joshi, they really have your back. They really guided this process well for me. And I hope that, now with the acceptance that we found with the trailer, I hope that now when the audience discovers his life on screen, they also connect with him. They also experience and have empathy towards the character. We're not looking for sympathy. We're looking for empathy, that this this was Sanjay Dutt behind the movies. This is what his life was.
Did you have extended sittings with him also? Although you read the script and all?
Yes, I did. I spent a lot of time with him. I borrowed his perfumes to wear so I can smell like him. I borrowed his shoes. Many a times before doing the jail sequences, I used to call him and say, Sanju sir, what were you thinking here? What was this experience? When his Tada verdict came out, I called him. When we were doing that scene, what were you feeling at that time? The drug phase, when his mother passed away, when his father passed away. So these were important emotional moments in the film where I wanted to portray him in a very honest way what he felt. So when he sees the film, Sanjay Dutt, he also feels, he can remember, I remember this, I remember this, I remember that. That was very important to me, is to justify his life in a very true and honest way.
And how did you prepare? I mean, not only looks wise, other things you did?
Yeah, I think every film comes with its own preparation. Thankfully, in this film, I was backed with with good storytelling, with good drama, with a lot of entertainment, with laughter, with emotion. And I think the script really provided that for me, a base. It was a Bible for me to believe that this is the life, because I still could not believe while acting also that he actually went through all of this. So apart from the superficial training of body and prosthetics and makeup, which is easier, but to kind of understand someone's soul and someone's being, how he is as a person, that was very important to me. Sanjay Dutt is a teddy bear. He's like this man-child, even though he's big and he's like a wolf from the outside, but he's a puppy from the inside. And to really get that and to really show that on screen was very important.
I was interviewing Mr. Hirani earlier,
right.
And he said that you devoted absolutely 1 year to this man.
Right.
I mean, kind of, when your dad has been quoted as saying that you were living, breathing, sleeping, everything in that film. Must have been the most difficult film of your career yet?
Well, challenging for sure, because also there's so many looks, there's so many phases. But I was very inspired and happy to be on this film. So it didn't, the challenges were happily taken. When you love what you do and when you're happy doing it, whatever the challenge is, it becomes easier. And I worked with really good people, Raju sir and this entire team of assistants, the production, the hair and makeup unit, everybody was really good, positive people. So the experience has been really, really phenomenal for me.
And I believe you have done a course in method acting.
Yes.
From the best.
Lee Strasberg, yes.
Did that come in handy?
I think subconsciously, yes. Method is something which every actor has to discover his own method. Every film has a different method. Jaga Jasoos had another method. Rockstar had another method. So there is no fixed things that I do. One thing I do in every film is I use one perfume for a film, because my sense of smell is very strong and I get connected to the character. When you shoot a film, it's spread over 1 year and you might shoot after 2 months, and getting back, a perfume really helps me getting into character.
You use the same perfume for different characters?
For different films. So for Sanjay Dutt, I went to his house and I took his perfume and I used that perfume. So somewhere intellectually or something subconsciously, it really connected me to the part.
Which one was that?
This was a very strong oud perfume. It was a Tom Ford oud.
So to get into the skin of the character.
Yeah, I do these stupid, silly things, Shoes is very important to me. The character's shoes. So I went and tried to get he has these boots that he wears, but he is 2 sizes smaller than me. Then we actually duplicated, and I told the dress designer to make the boots like him. Even his jeans has this specific boot cut jeans he wears, or his, the kurta pajama he wears. There's a specific style that Sanjay Dutt wears. So certain things, help you get into character. But more than that, it's the heart and it's the mind. You have to understand that of a character. That is important, because superficially people will like in one scene, in 2 scenes, but eventually it's the nature of the character which people connect to.
Also, this movie, it struck me that there's a history also. I mean, almost 70 years after Barsat came, 1949 to 2018, your grandfather, his mother. So that kind of bonding was also there in the
I guess, somewhere in all our genes we all are connected, Everyone's worked so closely and have had such great creative collaborations on screen. And Sanjay Dutt is a very special man in my life, apart from me being his fan and really following him. I really admire him as a person, I respect him.
What is the best compliment you have got on the basis of your trailer? And
to be honest, I've never got this response for any film of mine. And I do understand that it's also because of Sanjay Dutt's life and Rajkumar Hirani is the director. And all that love has been transferred towards me in some way. But it's been quite phenomenal, the response. So we are happy that, now they've accepted me as Sanjay Dutt. So now when they see the film, that won't be a conflict. Okay, will Ranbir be able to do Sanjay Dutt or not? I think now they will just experience the movie unfold once they see it at the theaters.
So how much of Ranbir we will see on the screen, and how much of Sanjay Dutt?
Well, of course, it's me portraying him, so it's me, it's my personality, it's my being, it's my emotions, just channelized through somebody, through some other character. So I would like to believe that every film there's a lot of me, even though the characters I'm playing are different, but you will see a lot of me also in the film.
Which part was the most difficult for you of Sanjay Dutt's life to portray?
I think the younger one, because also
the rocky phase,
the rocky phase, and his whole phase with drugs, how deep he went into it, and how hard it was for him to come out. I think that's also really a brilliant message that the film shows, where drugs can take you, and especially seeing the youth of today and this new generation, how easily they're getting into this drug phase in their lives, and it really destroys your life. And Sanjay Dutt has been a prime example. Everything was over for him, and he really had to fight really hard to come back from it.
Wake Up said, 2 Rockstar, 2 Jagga Jasoos, even Bombay Velvet and all. Was it done consciously to do different genre of movies, or it just happened?
No, so it's the opportunities that came to me and the kind of stories I connected with as an actor, as a person. I connected with Bombay Velvet or Sabaria or Barfi or Rockstar as much as I connected with Sanju. So these are all my choices. So if a film is successful or a failure, I don't regret anything that I've done, because it all came naturally from me. I had a deep desire to tell this story, to be a part of this film, to play this character. And I've been really lucky with the kind of opportunities I've had. There was a time when I was starting out, there were only 1 or 2 young actors. Now there are probably 15. The competition is also growing. And I think cinema is evolving. A lot of people are doing a lot of good work. And that also drives me, because I feel I've been given the opportunity that there are thousands and thousands and maybe millions of guys who are way more talented than me would want that opportunity. And I'm very grateful for that. And I don't want to take advantage of it. I don't want to take it for granted. I want everyone to believe that, okay, this actor deserves to be where he is. He deserves the opportunities. It took me a while to take out the star son tag. That is a tag that you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And this whole nepotism talk and all of that. And yes, I am a product of nepotism. I am in the film industry because of my family's contribution, so it became easier for me. But eventually, I want people to understand that I love my job and I'm doing it for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons.
Because I remember, and we have all seen your great father. He, after Bobby, he was flooded with all kind of these lover boy roles, romantic roles, and it took him years to come out of that. Right. In fact, I think he's enjoying more now.
Correct.
That way, you, after only third film, Wake Up said you just broke that mold.
I guess times were different in his times. His ideology and his philosophy in life is very different than mine. The thing is, I could not duplicate what he did because it didn't come naturally from me. Wake Up said, or Rajniti, and these earlier films that I did, Ajab Prem Ki Kasab Kahani, they naturally came from me. When they were offered to me, I realized, okay, this is a film where I can, I would like to be a part of.
Your father tasted many failures. You also tasted many failures because you chose offbeat movies, so to speak. You could have gone for the beaten track, the formula movie, same 100 crore, 200 crores. That way you never regretted that you missed to be in that bracket.
Not at all, sir. I feel every failure is a learning, and I don't regret them. I take full credit of the failure. It's because of me, because I chose the film, so I don't blame it on anybody. Failure has taught me a lot. When you are successful, the only reaction you have is like, bach gaye. But failure comes with a lot of teachings. And yes, last couple of years have been really hard in that aspect. But to be honest, I've grown up in a film family and I've seen it all around over the years. Every second person in my family is an actor or a director. So you understand that success cannot go to your head and failure to your heart. That's the prime rule. All you have to do is be good at your job, be honest towards your work, and yeah.
Because your father said that he took his failure very badly after Zamane Ko Dikhana Hai.
Yeah, he used to get really affected. In a way, I'm more detached than him. I'm not that attached to my projects, so I've never really felt successful. even though if a film of mine has been successful, and I've not really gone into the deep despairs of failure.
So, of all these movies, like say Anurag Kashyap's movie, then Abhinav Kashyap's movie, even your own
Jaga Jasus.
production, Jaga was an excellent movie, but didn't
Right.
Do well. Somewhere you may have felt that. What did you, in retrospect, what did you think? The script was not right, or what?
So there are many reasons. When a film is made, it's a very indescribable way a film just clicks. Nobody has a formula for it. While we were working on Bombay Velvet, we all believed that we were making a very good film. Till the time when we saw it, we realized, okay, the film story didn't come together. But this is something that you don't realize while you're making the film. It's only in retrospect that you realize. Jaga Jasus had some brilliant moments, but it didn't come together as a film. Maybe there was too much happening. There was a musical, arms and ammunition, detective. The whole story was episodic, So when a film is successful, everything works. When a film is not successful, nothing works. And you have to understand the audience is king. You can't challenge that. You can't say, they didn't understand. The film was ahead of its times. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. If it was a good story, if they connected with it, it would do well.
Most of us think that you choose film by instinct. Whatever appeals to your heart, you just picks up.
Right.
You don't plan as such that we have to build this movie like that and go on this scale, that scale, targeting only commercial returns and all.
Right.
Basically, you go by your gut feeling that this movie is good.
Absolutely.
That gives you maximum
and that's all you have. As an artist, you cannot go with formula. You cannot go with, my mother feels I should do this, or my father feels I should do this. It has to naturally come from you. If it comes from you, then you will be good in it, or you will give yourself in it. So that process has been quite clear from my first film onwards. Every film that I've done has naturally come from my instinct and from my choice.
Even the next 3 movies which you are doing, they are all different movies. Shamshera you are doing.
Yes, Brahmastra and Love Ranjans. Yes.
All different genres movies.
Yes, they're all different. And the new energies, I haven't worked with Karan Malhotra or Love Ranjan before. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm working with my best friend Ayan Mukherjee again. He's worked on the script for 5 years. And it's a trilogy. It's an amazing idea, and we're very excited about it. That has Alia and Amitabh Bachchan in it. So very exciting cast for me also as an actor to be in the presence of such actors. So I'm really looking forward to the next phase in my career. It's very important these next 2-3 years, because this is the time I really have to consolidate my fan base. I really have to go to the next level as an actor, as a star, and I have these opportunities, and I truly hope that I deliver.
Both of them you are working for the first time, Mr Bachchan and
yes,
Alia also.
First time, yes.
How has been the experience?
It's been amazing. I just shot a scene with them 2 days back, and just amazing flair as actors. The energies. Alia, of course, is new, but she's such a terrific actor at such a young age. Amitabh Bachchan is the Amitabh Bachchan. Just to act with him is such an honor. And you realize the value of Amitabh Bachchan when you act with him, that he's no ordinary human being. He's a talent of rare sorts. Men like that are not born in this world. And he's world class. He's just not best in India. He's up there. So it's been quite amazing, and I'm quite honored and privileged to be around him.
You have had a huge responsibility of carrying forward the legacy of your family, your dynasty and all. What plans you have? RK Films has not had a movie in the last 20 years.
Sir, to be honest, I have a very different notion and take to it. RK Films was RK Films because of the films my grandfather made. It was his brilliance that made RK Films what it is. I don't think I have the talent or I have the experience to direct a film now, or to produce something under the RK banner. I feel that it's a legacy I don't want to spoil. That's why Jaga Jasus, when I started my own production company with Anurag Basu, because I feel that I should not touch that. That is something which the world respects, which I have a lot of value for, which I have a lot of, it's very close to my heart, what the work my grandfather's done. And I don't want to pollute it by riding on that legacy and, continuing it in a different tradition. I don't believe in what's the word, revamping and all of that. RK Films was born and it died with Raj Kapoor.
But another opportunity, you have done a marvelous biopic of Sanjay Dutt. An opportunity may come one day when you will be asked by somebody to play your own grandfather?
Absolutely.
In a biopic?
I think it's a great character to play. But I feel like biopics should only be made when you can honestly portray a man's full life. And I hope my family can give that permission, to really portray Raj Kapoor as the person he was. Because not many people know who Raj Kapoor was. They know him as his movies, but they don't know him as a person. And he's had such a interesting life. So two biopics that I really wanted to do is Raj Kapoor and the Kishore Kumar biopic.
Kishore Kumar was already you were in talks with him?
It was in talks, but it didn't happen because we didn't get permissions of certain families to use their names, and that was very integral in our story. But I hope that we can wing it in some way, because Kishore Kumar again will be an interesting personality to portray.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so if you get a script like Sanju for a Raj Kapoor biopic, you will definitely do
100%. 100%. It would be an honor, to play him.
Talking about your childhood, when saying that you have been constantly under pressure, but how was your childhood if we compare it to, say, son of your cousin Kareena Kapoor? The kind of media attention it has, paparazzi following everywhere.
Yeah,
how was your childhood?
It's crazy. Of course,
your parents were big stars.
Yes. So, of course, we also had a lot of attention, but of course, there was no camera phones and paparazzi and social media. So, we could have a little bit of a free life. Today is very hard, Today, the more popular you are, the more isolated you get. But to be honest, I love watching Taimur's pictures myself. Whenever he's clicked, I want to see it. I'm a fan. So I understand the nature of the game has changed. Show business has changed. There is they need data to consume, and we are data. So any gossip, any picture, any information is consumed very fast. It is like that now. So you just have to accept it and not cry about it.
You talked about building your fan base and all. One of the media these days is, of course, social media. But you have so far steadfastly avoided you. No plan to go on Twitter and all.
No plan as of yet.
That build up you want.
No, so I believe that, and especially for actors, and I take example of actors gone by, that a mystery around an actor is very important. Once that mystery dies, people get bored of you, or people will stop believing the characters you play. And it very honestly came through that I just want to build a mystery around myself as an actor, because I want people to judge me as an actor. I'm not interested in telling people how my body is, or where I am, or the food I eat, or the petrol I'm filling in my car. I'm interested in telling them stories and giving them an aspiration or giving them inspiration through my films.
But that could give you an opportunity to, say, raise some social issues and all.
Of course, but I think there are other mediums, that you can do that. Social media is not the only platform. Yes, of course, like, raising social issues or connecting with your fans, it's great. And I don't look down upon social media. It's just something that I have consciously tried to stay away.
One last question. What are you doing for this World Cup? You are a soccer enthusiast.
Yes, huge fan. I really hope that Messi takes the World Cup this year. He deserves it. Okay. But I don't know if he has a support system in his team players. So Argentina is my first choice. Second is France. Third is Germany. Fourth is Spain.
Okay, so between Ronaldo and Messi is
of course, like way ahead than Ronaldo. I'm not a Ronaldo fan. I'm a Messi Bhatt. How about you?